There is a reason why we are in this market right now. There is stupid money to be made, and in this video, I'm going to prove that to you. The global money supply is over $100 trillion right now. We can get a piece of that. So today, I'm going to be revealing 4 stocks that I will be buying within the next 24 hours. I also want to talk about why we do what we do and why we follow the politicians' stock trades, because it has allowed us to make well over $1,000 already in the portfolio in just about a month. I will also be giving an update on some of the stocks in the portfolio, including but not limited to AMD, Micron, and installed building products. We got some craziness going on with these stocks, and we have to address the situation, so I will talk about that soon. Without further ado, let's jump into the video and make sure to smash that like button. It helps us grow the channel and build the community. Yeah, if you like the content, smash it. Now, before we jump into the 4 stocks that I am purchasing within the next 24 hours, I want to talk about why investing in the stock market is an opportunity that you do not want to miss. And what's better than telling? Showing. Let's look at this. So right here is actually a crazy trade that happened. I actually just discovered this like 2 days ago, and I went ahead and posted it on our X account. By the way, if you guys don't follow our X account, you should. I think we have 32,000 followers now at this point. We grew a little bit from this post. This one has 54,000 views. But anyway, we had a politician buy SanDisk Corporation not quite a year ago, and he's up an insane amount of money, life-changing amount of money on this trade. And he didn't invest that much money into it initially. But let's just go ahead and just show you this. So 3,216%. That's how much Rep Ro Khanna is up on his SanDisk position. His entry was August 4th. Just think about what you were doing back in August. You could have bought this stock and you could be up this much percent. He invested $15,000 into it. That original investment is now worth $500,000. $500,000. And guys, here's the craziest part. A lot of you guys watching right now probably have $30,000, to your name. You could have put $30,000 into this stock and it would be worth $1 million right now. That's crazy. Well, let's continue. So yes, we're talking politicians here, so get ready for the funny business. There's always something going on. He's the ranking member of the subcommittee on cyber, innovative technologies, and information systems. AI and emerging technologies, those are some areas that the subcommittee oversees. They're all right up SanDisk's alley. So am I, basically saying that he knew something before it happened? Not necessarily. I'm just kind of pointing out the obvious that he might have had some sort of information, but I'm not saying that he did. But we all know. We all know what's going on here, okay? That's what I do. I dig into stuff. And it's just crazy. It's crazy to think that he has made this much money in such a short amount of time. We're talking less than a year here. Now let's take a second here to just talk about this. Why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this to present the possibility. This is a possibility. Any stock that I own right now in this Congress portfolio that I have, one of the stocks in there could be the next SanDisk. You know what I mean? There's potential for one of the companies that I own right now to be the next 3,000% gainer. Okay, we've already seen at Core Holdings, we've seen AMD and Micron in the portfolio already perform amazingly. And I'm getting in late to those. The politicians that are in those stocks are already up. Some of them are already up over 1,000%. There's some politicians that own AMD right now. They purchased it and it's already up over 1,000%. So what I'm saying to you is that it doesn't matter, what time period we're in. If you're going to get in, you got to get in. You got to start. If you want to start investing in the stock market, you got to start today. You can't wait forever. You can't put your money on the sidelines and just wait, because you know what's going to happen? A year is going to pass by and these massive opportunities like this are going to happen. The next SanDisk is going to happen and you're not in. And actually, I ran some numbers to kind of just portray how life-changing this could have been. So if we had, gotten into SanDisk, which we didn't, unfortunately, but we started this account after he had, purchased that, a long time after he had purchased that. If we had allocated like $1,000 of our portfolio into SanDisk when Ro Khanna purchased, it would be worth $31,000 right now. Our account literally would be worth, with all the other stocks too, it'd be worth like $40,000 right now on a $10,000 account. And we wouldn't be risking much either. We would be allocating only 10% of our portfolio into one stock, which I've done that at least 3 times in our portfolio right now. And then once you get a home run stock like that, now we're talking, it's just a matter of time before we're at $100,000 portfolio. And then once you hit 100,000, the next step is to hit $1 million. It's only a 10x from $100,000 to $1 million portfolio. All you have to do is 10x your account. And with the politicians on your side, it makes it way easier. Alrighty, so with that being said, I hope that kind of shed some light on the possibility and the opportunity that you could be missing with following the politicians and doing this strategy and just investing in the stock market in general. You should always just have money working for you. I now want to move on to the 4 stocks that I'm buying today within the next 24 hours. I'm going to be deploying pretty much the entire cash supply into these 4 stocks, which comes to be around $200, I think. Right now we have $262 in cash, and we're probably going to have like 40 or 50 bucks, give or take, in extra cash after I purchase these stocks. And by the way, if you guys don't know, I deposit $100 per week into this portfolio to buy new stocks. I would strongly advise, and this isn't investment advice or anything, but if you guys want to take investing seriously, you should start off with a portfolio, put some money in it, and then consistently contribute funds into that, because you can't just start with a starting amount and then just think that you're going to grow really, really big time. You have to be able to buy the dips in stocks and build out positions fully, like I am right now with these buys. So as you can tell right now, all of these buys are active positions in my portfolio. There's 4 of them here, which I have blanked out, and we're going to jump into the first one right now. Alrighty, so the first stock that I plan to buy is Hecla Mining. Go ahead and zoom in on it here. Here it is, ticker HL. I'm currently down 5.77% on the position, down 18 bucks. And this stock is trading at $18 per share. I'm actually going to be buying 2 shares of Hecla Mining. So I think that's going to come out to be around $36 that I'm going to spend on Hecla Mining. So if we pull up Altoneer here, this is the reason why I'm in Hecla, is because Debbie Wasserman Schultz is in this one. She's in Stratasys, she's in Core Holdings, and you guys know Core Holdings is like one of the best performing stocks that are in our portfolio right now. So she's really good trader. If you guys watch my previous videos, you'll know I talk about her all the time and why she's so good. But I'm going to go ahead and add to this position because let's see what my overall weighting is. 2.6%. I want more Debbie Wasserman in my portfolio. That sounds weird, but I want it. Right now, from all-time highs, this stock is down about 42%. So we're technically buying the dip on this one. I'm cool with that. Just buying the dip. And if we go to 18, let's find around $18 here. Let's just go up to all-time highs. If this stock returns to all-time highs, this batch of shares I'm going to buy is going to be up 69%. And you know what? I have faith in Debbie Wasserman Schultz trading. So yeah, that's all I can say. We're buying some Hecla Mining. So next up is NetApp. This one currently makes up less than 2% of our portfolio. We're currently up 9% on that trade. We're up 18 bucks, and we currently have $226 invested into that one. I'm going to be purchasing 1 share of this one since it is a $113 stock. I'm just going to continue to build out that position, and I have something actually really cool to show you about NetApp. Look who's buying. Ro Khanna. Yeah. So it is important to note that Ro Khanna did sell some shares last 2 Februarys ago. So February 2025 is what I mean. But since then, in 2025, so March going into April, he's purchased several times, several purchases in NetApp. So you know what? Maybe this is the next SanDisk. Who knows, man? Like, you just got to get in, and we're picking some politician stocks to get into. Who knows? We might get into the next SanDisk straight up. And it would literally be life-changing, straight up. To be up 3,000% on a single stock. Yeah. So with this one, as far as when I would possibly sell out, if we get some significant sell pressure from some of these other politicians, sure. But we got John Boozman up here, going up here. And then honestly, I might be waiting for Ro Khanna's signal. So when he sells, maybe I'm jumping out. So yeah, just based on that SanDisk trade, and he has some other trades that did really well in the past. I'm thinking Ro Khanna's, he's definitely up on my list in terms of like respect as far as stock trading goes. So he's climbing the ranks for sure. So next on the list is Stratasys. So ticker SSYS. I'm up 2% on this one in the portfolio, up $11. Right now it makes up 4.3% of the portfolio. This is another Debbie Wasserman Schultz stock. I want more Debbie in my portfolio, like I've said. So I'm going to continue to build this one out. I don't know exactly how much percentage of the portfolio I want this to be. It's probably going to be around 5% after I purchase. What am I going to do? I'm going to buy 2 shares of it, which would cost like $16. So Stratasys would be like around 5% of my portfolio. And then Hecla Mining after this purchase is going to be maybe like 3%, just a guess. So I'm probably going to, and then Accor Holdings is 6%. So I probably want to over time get all of my Debbie Wasserman Schultz positions to be at least 5% or over in portfolio weighting, I think is what I want. So we'll probably be doing more buys of Stratasys and Hecla Mining over time to just get that portfolio weighting, above 5% for both of those positions. And then just one more thing on Stratasys, Debbie Wasserman Schultz is down 12% on it. So, by buying it right now, we are getting in at a cheaper price than Debbie Wasserman Schultz got in at. And this is actually a perfect example of why trade delays don't really matter. Yes, politicians have up to 45 days to disclose their stock trades. It actually looks like Debbie here would have disclosed it after 2 days. She disclosed it really quick. But yeah, after 2 days, she disclosed it. She's up 12% already. So some could argue, hey, the move already happened. 12%. Okay, 12% means nothing to me when it comes to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. You know what means something to me? Hundreds of percentage points up. That's like, if you just study her trades and study her small cap stock trades, you'll find out real soon that she's up ungodly amounts of percentage points on these stocks. So like, if I can buy in at a 12% discount, sign me up. That's what we're doing here. And like I said, that just proves that trade delays don't matter, because she ended up being, down on the position at some point. So that, like, if we just zoom out here, this could be like a total joke. This could be at the bottom here. And then, over the next 12 months, the stock could be way up here. You know what I mean? So we're still here in the buy range. I'm sticking down here for sure. And then the last and final stock that I'll be purchasing, number 4, is Nike. I'm going to be buying 1 share of Nike for $44 per share. I'm up 1% on this. We're trading flat right now. It makes up 3.75% of my portfolio. This stock is down a lot from all-time highs. I think it's probably a good value play, to be honest. So I'm going to be adding to that position. Let's see what the politicians are doing right now with Nike. As you can already see, Ro Khanna is in this. So he did do a sale, but he's only done 1 sale, and it's not a sale full, which basically means he still owns Nike stock. But I don't think that's the reason why I got in the first place. Marjorie Taylor Greene is in this one. She's a heavy hitter in my book. She's no longer a politician, so we're not going to see her stock trades, but she was one of the greats in my eyes, especially last year. So she's getting into Nike. I'm also going to get into Nike. And just to put the icing on the cake, Ro Khanna also owns shares of Nike, so that helps out a lot. So right now, we have some positions in the portfolio that we need to talk about. The first one I want to discuss is one that you all know. It's probably one that you've always owned. It's one of the Mag 7s. And it's one of the largest positions in the account. So let's reveal what that is. We are talking Google. This behemoth of a stock is up 33% for us already. We're up $300. It makes up $1,200 in our portfolio, and it is 10% of the portfolio. Okay, let's see what's going on. Why am I talking about Google here? We had a new sale of Google. This was actually disclosed 7 days ago. They sold Google on April 8th. It's not going so well for them. They sold it. Stock goes up 25% later. Honestly, Elizabeth Fletcher, I mean, how many trades has she disclosed? 112. I've really never really heard her name. Really? Yeah, I really haven't. I don't really know if she's a good stock trader or not. I haven't heard anything from her. I haven't researched really much from her. She doesn't trade very often. So I'm not too worried about this sale. Also, you can see Rokana's in Google, so that just makes it all the better. Cleo Fields is buying. He's a good one. He also had some major big time buys, big boy buys earlier this year. We also have Nancy Pelosi. Actually, just to verify this, let's pull up just Pelosi here. So right here, I got Pelosi pulled up. Yes, she did sell 5 million in Google this year. She's also purchased a lot of Google this year. But look at this. She has tons of purchases of Google. She still owns Google. She doesn't have a full sale or sale full. So that should suggest again that she still owns Google. So we got Rokana, we got Cleo Fields, and we got Nancy Pelosi. They all own Google. It's a buy. All right, let's jump into the next stock that I want to talk about to you guys. So next one we got is Micron. So Micron is a kind of a smaller position, actually, surprisingly, in the portfolio, especially for the gain that we've got. 68% upside already. We made $263, and it makes up 5.5% of the portfolio. Honestly, wishing at this point that I owned more of Micron, just to be honest, because of how successful it's been. I think it's the second biggest gainer in the portfolio right now. All right, so the reason why I want to talk about Micron right now is we had a new sale in Micron, and it was from Dwight Evans. That was disclosed on April 21st. Obviously not going well for him. Not a good trade from Dwight Evans, honestly. So kind of going to disregard that. It's not really, his trades don't really matter to me. We got Cleo Fields with a big boy buy in here. Gosh. Wow. He's made a lot of money on that one. And then we have Rokana is actually selling this one. Bad trade, honestly. And I also wanted to show you this. I mean, Rokana is a good example of this, but also we go back a little bit here. You're going to see something pretty shocking, actually. Look at this. Nancy Pelosi, full sale, Micron in 2022. What a mistake that was. She would be up 1,123% on Micron right now. Man, that would suck. But here's what I want to say. Here's the lesson. When you invest in the stock market, whether you are me, Warren Buffett, Nancy Pelosi, we're all going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody loses out on opportunities. Everybody gets into a situation where they're that close to making life-changing money, and then they screw it up. But you know what? We keep going, we keep fighting, and we keep trying. Look at Nancy Pelosi, for instance. She outperforms the market pretty much every year, substantially. And she's out here making these mistakes. She's selling Micron in 2022, and now it's up 1,000% since then. People make mistakes, but Nancy Pelosi, she's getting into good trades. Obviously, she's outperforming the markets without being in Micron. So that's part of the game. That's the name of the game. You just got to keep trying. You cannot let yourself get down. When you're trading stocks, you just got to keep going. Okay. Just like with this next stock I'm going to show you, we're running into some problems, okay? Oh, wait, actually, it's not the next stock. The next one after this one is going to be the stock I want to talk about that we're down on. But let's just jump into AMD. Let's go ahead and do this one pretty quick. This is the best stock that I am in right now. in this portfolio and in my other bigger portfolio, that's not public. AMD has actually made me life-changing money, and it's already making some pretty big moves, the biggest move so far in the entire portfolio here, up 81%. They're up $551. It makes up 10.36% of the account. I think it's the second largest position. I think Google or Meta might actually be the largest position. I don't know. Anyway, it's up there. It's one of the biggest positions. It's probably going to be the biggest position, if I had to guess. If the momentum continues, it's going to be wild. Okay. I might even have to get to the point where I'm starting to sell AMD because I'm getting so undiversified because it's going up so much. That and Micron. So for AMD, I just want to kind of show how crazy stuff can change in the matter of a month. AMD is up 76% in the past month. That's a monumental move. That's incredible. It's almost a double up. It's almost a double your money situation. And it just took 1 month to do that. Kind of feels like SanDisk, That's what it felt like. That's what it was like for Ro Khanna. He purchased SanDisk and it's just going up consistently. He's doubling his money. Like, I don't know, like every month he's doubling his money. It's like a money duplicator. It's insane. And this can happen in the stock market. I mean, when you get a stock that starts rallying and the momentum just keeps pushing it forward, stocks can go up hundreds of percentage points, every quarter. And then you're rolling in it. So aside from the portfolio that you're seeing, on this YouTube channel and my personal portfolio, it's not just me benefiting from this. People in the Discord, the Altoneer Discord community, are also posting their gains. So this guy says, took my profit for the week, but these plays are no joke. Big hitters for me have been Micron, AMD, Microsoft, Landen, and Oracle. So these are the three stocks. This must be some of his own research that he's got going on. But MU and AMD, that's from our portfolio. Nice. And I don't know exactly how much he made. He said he took profits, maybe like $4,000 in profits. Not sure. Mark, he's up 38% since he bought in a couple weeks ago. And that was 2 weeks ago-ish. So he's probably doubled his money, honestly, I think. So yeah, it's getting crazy out here. People are reaping the benefits of this whole politician trading thing. So now, one thing I do want to talk about when it comes to AMD, I want to address, am I going to sell? Am I going to buy more shares? What are my thoughts on that? So as of right now, I'm holding on to my shares. I'm not going to be selling, but I'm also not really going to be purchasing any more shares because, this portfolio or this position already makes up 10% of the portfolio. Now, I actually did have someone ask me a question in the community. They said, would you buy more AMD today? Like, would you add it to your portfolio today? And I said, if I didn't own AMD right now, I would buy AMD right now. So to answer your question, would I buy AMD? Yes. Am I going to buy it in this specific portfolio? No, because it makes up 10% of the portfolio already. So that's why I'm not going to be, buying AMD. And as far as politician trade activity on AMD stock, we don't have any sales going in. We also don't have any politicians purchasing it recently. It's a lot of buy and holds from politicians. Some of the main reasons why I'm in is Marjorie Taylor Greene and Mark Wayne Mullen. So both of those politicians are no longer in Congress, so we can't see their stock trades. And my kind of thinking process when it comes to a stock like that, when the reason I got in is because a politician that no longer really exists bought it, I am planning to just hold this stock for at least a year out from when I purchased it. So we got 11 more months of me for sure holding this AMD stock. Things can change. If another politician ends up buying in, it could potentially trigger me to hold on even longer. Like if Nancy Pelosi comes in and buys, I'm holding on even longer. If Cleo Fields comes in and buys more, I'm holding on even longer. However, if a bunch of politicians start selling a lot, if it just seems like it's overwhelmingly like sell pressure going on with AMD amongst the other politicians, maybe I'll start trimming some of my position. So that could be a possibility. Now, if you guys want to know more about AMD, I made a full-fledged video about AMD last week. You should watch it. I go way more in depth on AMD. So if you guys want to learn more about AMD and see why I'm in it, go ahead and check out that video. All right, the next stock I wanted to talk about, and this is the brutal one here, Installed Building Products. I'm going to talk about why I'm in this one, what compelled me to get into it, and gosh, was it a mistake? It was a mistake so far. It could end up not being a mistake, but in the short term here, it is the worst performing stock in the portfolio. We're down 18%. It had a terrible day on Wall Street. Look at this. Down 27%. I think on some really bad earnings, I believe. Earnings and stuff like that doesn't really matter too much to me because I'm just kind of following the politicians. So I kind of just turn my brain off and tune my brain off when it comes to that stuff because the politicians are doing the work for me. The politicians themselves, with their, knowledge that they've got, they're doing all that stuff for me. So I don't have to really worry too much. And also some of these politicians have professional money managers, and then they have to disclose those trades. So they're doing all the work for us. I don't have to pay attention to that stuff too much. But here's the reason why I'm in. So here's a report that we have on Altoneer.com. This is free for everybody to check out, by the way, the reports tab. We post stuff in here that we find interesting. So this is the reason why I got into Installed Building Products. So swing trade activated, a closer look at Representative Dave Taylor's latest move. So he's purchased Installed Building Products several times, throughout last year and into this year. And every time he has done that, he's later on sold for a percent gain, or he's kind of just like swing trading this stock. So he'll enter and exit, and then he'll enter and then he'll exit. So enter low, exit high. He's done that literally 3 times in a row. And then he had just purchased it here. And then that's what prompted me to jump in because, hey, I want to sell it when he's selling it when it's up here. So Dave Taylor recently purchased or disclosed a March 12th purchase of Installed Building Products, a move that may signal another short-term trading opportunity based on his historical patterns. He actually was up at the peak here, 15%. And then this colossal move down just totally wiped it out. So he's actually down 20% right now on the trade. I'm down less than that, so I guess that's good. So he entered in on May 15th, exited August 13th for a 57% gain. He entered November 3rd, exited January 16th for a 29% gain, entered January 29th, exited on February 26th for a 10% gain. My thinking process was, hey, he just entered again. I'm waiting for that exit signal now, which I am still going to wait, but there is no way I am adding to this position. This is purely a short-term trade, obviously. I was just in it for the swing. Looks like the swing's not working out too much. We will see. We will see. So as far as that one goes, I'm just going to be holding on to that one. I think it makes up less than 2% of my portfolio. It's possibly the smallest position in my whole portfolio, probably because it tanked. But I'm not going to be adding to it. So I'll just kind of hold on to that one for a while and just kind of wait for the signal to sell from David Taylor. Now, if we stretch on too long and it just seems like nothing's happening, I'll probably just cut my losses there and then reallocate those funds into other opportunities possibly. Okay, so right now, Altoneer is working on a new data set for lobbying information. So we are not only going to have politicians' data on the site anymore, we are going to have both the politicians and lobbying on the site soon. Not right now, but hopefully I would say within the next month or two, we should have that. We've been working on it for the majority of this year, actually. So I'm excited to show you guys this. I'm going to basically just show you guys what we got cooking right now. Now, the reason why Altoneer is working on this data set is because there is a statistic out there that for every $1 spent on lobbying from a company, corporations can see an immediate return with estimates ranging from $220 to $760. So for every $1 spent on lobbying, they're getting a return of $260 to $760. This is incredible. So my thinking process behind this was like, if we can track how much money, these corporations spend on lobbying, what if we get a scenario where this company spends not much on lobbying and then out of nowhere they have a huge spike in lobbying spend? If we take that multiplier and compare it to their current market cap of their company, maybe we can kind of predict how high their stock price is going to go soaring after they've, lobbied. It makes sense in my mind. I don't know if it makes sense in you guys' mind, but we've kind of compiled all the data and we are going to start back testing it here actually next week. We're going to start back testing it to make sure it's actually, really there, like the numbers are really there and hold true. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to hop on a call with Landen, the developer who's coding all of this stuff. He's an amazing guy. We're going to jump in a call and just take a little sneak peek into what he's been working on. So let's do it. All right. So we are now in a call with Landen. So Landen, go ahead and kind of introduce what this data is and what's the point.
Yeah, we got lobbying data here. It's going to be brand new. We got the companies that are lobbying and their tickers here. And then we have the amount that they lobbied. This is quarterly data, as you can see here, the quarter and the year. We have some of the issues that they've lobbied on. You can search anybody who's lobbied.
Lockheed Martin.
Click on a quarter. Huh?
I was just saying the stock name.
Oh yeah, Lockheed Martin. Then you can see all of their past data, kind of see the trend, see if they've ever lobbied more or less than their average lobbying, and see some stuff that they're lobbying about here, quite a bit. And then all the different categories they've lobbied about.
Could you kind of show, just real quick, we have like a little widget in the side there on the left side for the politicians. Do you want to explain what that is? Because we kind of just came up with it last night and added it. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So this would be basically whether or not the politician is bullish or bearish on the stock. It's the percentage of, or the ratio between how much they're buying the stock and selling the stock. So Kevin Hearn here, who's actually bought the most of this stock, at like volume wise, he's 92% buy. So he's pretty bullish on this.
And then who's that below him? Bill Flores. He's bearish. He's mostly selling.
Bearish.
And actually, if you look down at the bottom, you can see the last little tab there. It says all 40 politicians. So there's 40 politicians total that have traded this stock. If we take up all of their trades and take up all the dollar amounts and add it together, the majority of the money is actually purchasing the stock. 56.3% of the money is actually going into the stock and not exiting. So yeah, it's just cool to see that. So the politicians are mostly purchasing this one. They're bullish on it. And then if you look at the 5.44%, do you want to explain what that means, what that is?
Yeah, so for this particular quarter that's highlighted here, the most recent quarter that they filed, their average, or the amount that they spent on this quarter is 5% higher than their the last 4-quarter average.
Yeah.
So about the last year. And that means, I mean, obviously for Lockheed Martin, that doesn't sound like a lot, but they're one of the largest lobbyists that is out there. So 5% is actually quite a bit of money.
Yeah. And do you want to explain real quick, why are we even tracking that? Why are we tracking the percentage difference in the current quarter versus the previous 4? What's the reason?
Well, the idea that we have here is, you explained, but for every dollar, there's a huge amount of return. So if they end up spending a lot more than their average, then it's possible that they are going to be trending upwards in some amount of time in the future.
Yeah, in stock price. Theory. Yeah, that's the theory.
Yeah.
Do you want to find an example of a stock that does lobby that has a major uptick in lobby spend, just so they can visualize what it would kind of look like?
Yeah, I can see something. Let's see.
See,
200%.
Yeah. So that deviation tab is like what that is. So like,
Yeah.
you can just find them really quick. So there's one that's 223% higher than normal. So they have a massive spike in lobbying spend. Go ahead and click that one.
And it was about $500,000 they spent. So
yeah, see, they've
this one doesn't have a lot of data, but
they're ramping up their lobby spend. And based on the studies that I've read, when a company starts spending money on lobbying, they don't immediately see that return. It comes, maybe 1 year later, 2 years later, 3 years later. They're getting their money back in terms of like tax incentives, so saving money on taxes, or straight up winning contracts, like government contracts, and those could happen years later. So by seeing that they are ramping up their lobbying spend in these like last 2 quarters, which is really significant, we could see this stock exploding over the next 1 to 3 years just because of these 2 quarters. That's the idea. So just to help you guys visualize what's happening, that's the idea of this. And we're going to do tons of back testing since 2009. We have all the data, scraped it all, and we're going to do some back testing next week to figure out if this is actually is real. So we're going to find stuff like that. And then these things are going to be called golden trades, just like with the politician trades you guys have seen. We're going to have stuff highlighted in gold, probably, if it meets this criteria. So it's genius. I like it. So Landen, do you have anything else you want to add or say?
Exciting. It's exciting stuff.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. You got any last words?
Peace.